Whole town's full of cowards. Whole country, matter of fact. As a male victim, you will be ignored, especially broke. You have to be somebody who's rich and famous for anyone to actually care. My car is not running at the moment. I gotta get a jump. I gotta go to storage and I gotta go up them fucking stairs. And I gotta get my bottle of antifreeze because one of the hoses on there wasn't tightened on properly. You know who changed that hose? I did. Nobody to blame but myself, right? Well, I ain't got much hand strength, but I gave it an effort. Just because I'm not able to do something doesn't mean I'm not trying. The thing is, the term mentally ill takes away all of my rights. It's used to fearmonger people into harming me. And then when I react to that harm, I'm a monster for reacting to harm. I'm not freaking out over no fucking reason. Over no big thing. People are fucking dead, and Chris blows me off every fucking time, talks over me every fucking time. His solution for everything is for him to talk over me like a fucking crackhead. And everyone does that. That's how you can tell if someone has zero respect for you. The more they talk over you, the less they fucking care. And that sucks. As a male, people aren't going to care. You've got expectations. Society expects certain things from you or you're not a man. You deserve to be harmed because you're not a real man. You listen to your excuses for harming us. Meanwhile, are you harming the men who are actually doing these things? No. You're not going after them. You're going after people like me. Shea Burton, while she was being traumatized by Theo, she was also assisting Theo in traumatizing a lot of other people and making a lot of other people's lives a living hell. It's not just women that are like this to men. Men are like this to other men. Oh, you just need to let it go. They're all defeatist when it becomes a man, aren't they? Oh, it'll never work. Oh, I don't know what to do if you're abused. I don't know what to do. Well, they magically all know what to do if it happens to them, don't they? They know exactly the words to use to play victim. Exactly how to change your disabilities to be, you're a horrible person. Huh? Every single woman in America is taught to do this. And most men eventually learn how from women. That's right, we have to learn from you. But men don't stick together because we're constantly being victimized by you into giving every part of our lives to you because you have a vagina and we're supposed to feel sorry for your vagina. Well, I'm not the one beating up your vagina. Take out your vagina anger on somebody who beat up your vagina. Don't be getting all fucking horny and throwing yourself at people like a $2 hooker and then screaming at some dude who's not attractive just because he looked your direction. What the fuck is wrong with you? You're gonna go making only accounts where you're just selling pictures of your body. And then, of course, you want to stand on some moral ground because you have to sell pictures of your body. No, you don't. You can get a real fucking job. You don't want a real job. You are above a real job. God bless America, right? How many women have we paid for them to get pregnant and then go to free college for the rest of their lives, literally for the rest of their lives? There's recently a lady, 47 years old. She died young. She was still in college. 47 years old. She had literally never joined the workforce. She got pregnant at 17, got free college because she was pregnant. And then she stayed in college and kept on getting pregnant. 47 years old, spending between $100,000 and $120,000 every single year of taxpayer dollars, while we listen to women complain that they make on average about $4,000 less than men. No, they don't. Men work harder. They work harder jobs. They work more physically demanding jobs, and they work more overtime. So when you want to be sexist, look in the fucking mirror. Now, as far as Chris goes, just like everyone else, I don't matter. He expresses that every time he opens his mouth. When he wants to push the housing thing, and then he wants to stop 100 times easily to say, oh, I don't understand. That's because you won't shut the fuck up. You're getting hung up on one little part like a fucking crackhead. We don't move on with my story because you're busy being a crackhead. When you tell me that you're sober, but you're acting like a crackhead, I don't trust that you're sober. When I tell you that talking about harming other people the way that you do is hurtful to me, does Chris do it again? Yes, he does. Again and again and again. He doesn't care how hurtful it is. Last night he wanted to talk about his friend in Eugene and a bunch of stuff about this thing in Eugene. That's not finding out a goddamn thing about me. That's him getting stuck on just one of hundreds of fucking hang-ups. He's stuck on that one. Every conversation with him is the same. He's going to talk about how he would get violent. He's going to talk about how shitty the cops are. He's going to talk about how nothing's going to do any good. He's going to talk about his friends and tell me about this thing over here and that thing over there. Something somewhere else that somebody else might possibly, if we drag our fucking feet long enough. No. Dragging your feet just gets innocent people killed. See, these people here ignoring my disabilities at all of these services, that's because none of these witnesses went in with me to turn this shit in. None of them try to go in with me for my safety so that I can turn it in. Every one of them is an excuse-making bitch. Any excuse is good enough. Jaden has been a little dweezil on more than one occasion since me and him had our falling out. I'm fine with that. Sometimes he walks by and smiles real big just to be an antagonistic asshole. But I'm fine with that. Because there are people who do far, far worse. Jaden is not a fucking problem in my life. Seeing him go by, yes, he could be a problem. He could create a lot of problems for me just by pretending like I might do some horrible shit to him. He already decided he was going to play victim like a punk-ass little bitch. At least he proved me right. As far as me being dangerous, you goddamn right I'm dangerous. You want to fuck kids and stay out of prison? You should probably kill me. Because I'm going to keep speaking up until you're in prison. Instead of assisting me in turning in my predators. Every one of these people has assisted my predators in getting away by turning everything into a fucking argument. Because they have no respect for me. I'm not a person to them. Their assumptions are something that they need to get past. And they can't get past those when that's in the forefront of their mind and that's all they're thinking of. Your bias. Would you shut the fuck up and stop projecting your bias at me and listen to my fucking story, for Christ's sake? Stop trying to send me to fucking housing elsewhere. Stop trying to get me to move somewhere else. I have no support network because of Natalie Bollinger, Alicia Bollinger, and Maddie fucking Boa. Their choices, not mine. Their choice to lie because they were embarrassed. I didn't embarrass them. They fucking lied to people and got busted lying. That's why they're fucking embarrassed. Natalie Bollinger got busted lying. Tim Beeson got busted lying. Ted Bollinger got busted lying. Katie Cahill got busted lying. Shannon Alvarado got busted lying. Kara Johnson Miles got busted lying. Intentionally misleading the public. Intentionally misleading me. Intentionally misleading the police. Meanwhile, I'm the one taking the abuse. Ted Bollinger forces his daughters to sell drugs. I'm the one who's treated like a drug dealer. Ted Bollinger and his brother Troy Bollinger molest Natalie Bollinger and her sister and rape them and sell their bodies to people who obviously are up to no good. If you owe somebody drug money, having your daughters pay your debt is fucked. Then again, I'm just a hobo. And the entire United States has got a solid invested reason in not listening to hobos. It's because you like having people that you can hurt. You like having the option of having people that you can hurt and get away with it. That guy who was walking around shooting homeless people in Chicago. He was walking around shooting these homeless people in the head. If he'd have stopped at 7, he probably would have gotten away with it. Serial killers primarily target men. It's true. The ones that you care about are the ones who target women. Except Jeffrey Dahmer. Jeffrey Dahmer was already a registered pedophile. Already a registered pedophile. When the police handed over a naked 14-year-old boy to Jeffrey Dahmer. Jeffrey Dahmer took that boy, took him home, drilled holes in his head, and ate his genitalia. But see, Chris can't help but get stuck up on his own hang-ups. He's incapable of listening. See, he gets all these hang-ups because he is trying to put things together without all of the information. Well, I'm giving him the information. All he's got to do is shut the fuck up. Last night, for over an hour, he wanted to push that goddamn housing thing. That's a waste of an hour of our time. What are the chances of me getting the, oh, well, I washed your laundry. I bought them quarters from you. I talk to you, don't I? No, you talk at me. You talk down to me. It's demeaning. You show me that you don't care every time that you interrupt me to talk about you or your friends or you're this or you're that somewhere else. What you're not doing is listening to me. That's not okay. I can't get past your assumptions. I try to get you guys to, instead of harming us for being different, try to understand that different doesn't mean bad. Oh wait, but then we've got the LGBT community trying to communicate that, right? No, they're not. It's only not bad if you're gay. It's only not bad if you're part of the LGBT community. Anybody else who's dealing with adversity should go to the back of the bus because they're not part of the LGBT community. And of course, the LGBT have it worse than anybody. No, they don't. Disabled, homeless men have it the worst. Out of everyone in the country, disabled, homeless men have it the worst. Fucking idiots. Anyway, I gotta try to get my car started. The battery died. I got the hood open. I got my stuff up at the mountains. You know, I wouldn't have had to move my stuff up to the mountains. I wouldn't have had to move it out of Chapel, Nebraska. I wouldn't have had to move it out of Kenneth Wilson and Leatha Plunkett's. I wouldn't have had to move it to fucking Shannon Alvarado's or to my dad's. I wouldn't have had to fucking move any of this stuff if I'd have had a fucking friend or family member help me and turn it in! Instead of letting me be victimized over and over again! Because they don't have time to even hear it! Because they're too busy with fucking drugs and abusing their fucking kids. They're too busy assuming that we're all fucking retards. Our traits that you want to consider autism traits are not autism traits. They are signs of abuse. When somebody literally has to scream at the top of their lungs because you are ignoring them, ignoring the harm against them, ignoring the abuse that they have to go through, and then you want to be a negative ninny by literally saying that everything that does work, oh, it's not going to work. You're goddamn right it's not going to work because you're never going to try. You're a piece of shit. And then when you never try because you're too busy being a negative ninny, you want to tell me, oh, Sean, it's your fault for being negative all the time. No, I'm the only one actually fucking trying. I'm the only one who has tried following the law. You're all pieces of shit. And you're all selfish pieces of shit at that. Now I gotta try to find somebody who will let me use their car to jump in. All these little temporary band-aids. You know, I don't have the ability to take care of myself because all of my money is spent running around doing everything but what needs to be done. Fucking listen to the goddamn victim. Don't be a piece of shit like Chris. Literally every time he can't shut the fuck up. He has no idea a goddamn thing about me because he never shuts up about him. That's the problem with all of these people. They never wanted to help me. They just wanted to talk about them. Don't tell me that somebody's a good person if they're just nice. Because nice doesn't stop abuse. Nice doesn't stop rapists. Nice doesn't stop murderers. Chris bought this for me last night. Very nice of him. Let me plug in the power outlet. I bet that's something I need. But none of that does any good without somebody to fucking speak up for me. How is anyone gonna do that when they won't shut up and listen? This is why I need an advocate. I'm not heard by anyone. The words come out of my mouth and you reinterpret it into fucking pudding. Chris is not a good man. He's a nice man. There's lots of nice people in the world. Some of them are genuinely nice. Some of them are used car salesmen. It's not always easy to tell which is which. But nice does not mean good. A nice person will still watch the Nazis march into the house next door and put all the Jews in ovens. What would a good person do if Nazis were taking your neighbors? Meanwhile, all the things that are so harmful to people like me, Chris does those things over and over again, knowing how harmful they are. And people always want to try to make jokes out of it, make it into a funny situation. It's not fucking funny. It's not fucking funny. Oh, that's just the way you cope. That's just the way you cope. Well, that's much of the problem that I have, is that I need help. Your coping mechanism's just overhearing me talk about my abuse. Seriously? But then I get told how I need to think and how to feel. And all these people get to see their families. They have families who are involved in their fucking lives. Go see if I can find somebody to help jump my vehicle. 12:33. I was hoping to be up at camp last night. I haven't made it up to camp. What are the chances that my stuff all got rained on? Pretty fucking good. What's the chances of my stuff molding if it got rained on? Well, it's not going to happen overnight, but it is going to mold. I can't take care of myself. I rely on other people. I cannot physically carry all of my shit. Chris literally ignores everything that I tell him to change the subject every single goddamn time. The thing is, getting the process fucking started. See, we never even get it started because people are too busy being fucking pieces of shit like Chris. And he's not intentionally being a piece of shit. He's just selfish. It's ingrained in his brain to be selfish. That's what happens when people are drug addicts. When he was talking about the good cop who went out and dropped him off in the middle of nowhere and had him walk back into town, that's not a good cop. He's letting somebody who's doing something illegal get away with doing that something illegal and putting them in a position where they're going to be extreme at risk. Like when you're so fucked up on drugs that you have to walk back to town, yeah, you're pretty fucking vulnerable. No, that's not a good cop. See, I keep hearing all these people talking about what a good cop is. Oh, there's this good cop. And when they talk about these good cops, it's people who let them get away. No, that's not a good fucking cop. Oh, sure, he feels bad for you because he was young once and he fucked around, I'm sure. But that doesn't constitute a good cop. Chris said that officer did it more than once. More than once? Obviously, Chris didn't learn his lesson the first time. There's a lot of stuff that Chris talks about that he's done that, well, yeah, you deserve to get in trouble for that. Now, the stuff with Christian and with a lot of the other addicts out here, I do have to be overly nice to them. Because if I'm not, well, they might just choose to victimize me. They might choose to anyway, and they often do. People who are desperate, especially drug addicts, because you have to be a very special kind of person to be a drug addict. You have to be very selfish to be a drug addict. To feel sorry for yourself so much that rather than do something about the abuse, you're gonna reach to the bottom of a bottle or get fucked up on heroin. You're looking for just a few moments of artificially induced happiness. You're looking for the orgasm with the wrong guy. All because these are things that increase the endorphins in your brain, the dopamine level, all of them good, happy, sunshiny feelings that you get from shooting up heroin, from busting a nut, from getting drunk. I'm trying to find somebody with an older vehicle I could ask for a jump, because a lot of people with newer vehicles would just be straight up assholes. Plus, a lot of these newer vehicles, they're not supposed to jump another vehicle with them. Well, that sounds like a screwy way to make a car. Maybe they could help me at O'Reilly's. Not every day you see a Jet Ranger helicopter. No. Most of the time they're Hueys. That one didn't sound awfully healthy though. No, it didn't.
Tell him a big scary guy's looking for him. Take care, bud. Have a good one. $4.99. You got a phone number?
503-965-6527.
Morning, Tanner. I guess it's this afternoon, isn't it?
That's close enough to be one of them.
All right, so I know this idiot who was in my car last night, and he drove it this morning too. And like I said, he's an idiot, so he left the light on.
So your battery's dead?
Yeah, I'm the idiot. So I did get one of the battery charger things, but I've been using it to charge up my other electronics, so it's not even charged up. Is there any way I could get somebody to help jump my car real quick?
Let me go. Let me get someone else to come up here real quick, and then I'll be right there.
Thanks, sir. I bought everything I needed for the car, and then I needed the space in the car, so I put it all in storage. And then when I need it, it's all in the storage instead of in my car.
Isn't that the way it always goes?
Yeah, some days I'm more intelligent, most days I'm less.
I got a storage unit because I moved, and now it's always a constant back and forth of going to the storage unit to my house, to the storage unit to the house. It's kind of annoying.
Yes. I wish my back was in better shape and my storage unit was on the ground floor. It kind of sucks that I'm all the way over there.
Oh, you're fine.
Thank you. I'll work it out.
Be in the store.
Yeah, very much so. Plus, it's nice getting to do something nice for somebody else once in a while.
Exactly.
I believe that when somebody does the right thing, it's just the right thing to do. It's not something they should be out bragging about. But for me, when I do good things now, I do brag about it. I post it up because, see,
there's not a lot of good in the world anymore.
There's not. There's a lot of excuse makers.
Yep.
There's also a lot of people that are really nice and a lot of people who have good intentions. But as they say, the road to hell is paved in good intentions.
Exactly. Anymore, everything's just kind of a hit and miss.
Very much. I never know when I say yes sir or yes ma'am, someone is going to say, well thank you, everybody's rude these days. Nobody ever says sir or ma'am. Or I might run into one of those people, are you assuming my gender? Every time somebody does that, it makes my vag shrink right up.
Right.
Wait, did I just say I'm not manly? I think I did. I used to be one of those people who thought, you know, if I work hard enough, I'll be where I want to be. If I work hard enough and do all them shit manual labor jobs that nobody else wants to do, eventually I'll earn the money to do something with my life. Nope, I earned enough money to get ripped off because I never had enough money to get my own place.
It's usually the way it goes anymore.
Yep, it wasn't so bad when I had sober roommates, but that is so rare these days.
Yep.
All right, do I let this sit for a minute or just try it?
Go ahead and start her.
All right. Yeah! Thank you, Tanner. All right. Can I get you like a soda pop or something to say thank you?
No, I'm okay.
All right, well, fuck you too. Thank you.
You have a good day.
And here's something you hear me say often. These people aren't evil. They're evil. Not every person who's nice is a used car salesman. Sometimes they're just genuinely nice people. But good people, those are rare. For me, being able to get my car jumped, that's pretty important. For me, worrying about Chris, that's not something I want to do. I don't want to be spending my time worrying about Chris. I got to worry about my own shit, right? Well, I can't help it. Now, with him pushing the housing thing the way that he does that mean that he's a bad person? No, not even close. It means that he gets hung up on stuff. He gets stuck on his experiences instead of listening to mine. Sometimes he wants to share a story, but the story's long-winded and it doesn't help me and it doesn't get him familiarized with mine. If we're going to help me, we need to focus on me. If we're going to stop the issues that I'm having, we need to focus on those issues. Not getting hung up on some quick solution you came up with after 5 minutes. Just saying. Now let me tell you how much I hate Chris. I don't. Now if somebody wants to pull a Leslie Snell, they can go, oh, he said I hate Chris. Oh, that 3 words all together there. We're all together in one sentence, yes. But that's not the whole sentence, and it's out of context. Dude! Why you gotta pull up when I'm making a video about you? I am! I was complaining to my Facebook about how I don't hate you. And I was explaining how one sentence could be used out of context to pretend like I do hate you. Because of the way the sentence was put together, you could cut half the sentence off, the first half of it, and pretend like I said I hate Chris. But really, I hate getting the housing thing pushed on me like crack because a lot of people don't understand that I've had it or the importance of those things. But I also didn't just complain about you because when I started the video, I also realized that some dumbass left my lights on. So it's not just you I talk about on my YouTube channel, I also called myself a dumbass. Yeah, Tanner's run it for a few minutes after he jumped me, and he just jumped me a couple minutes ago. Oh, see, that right there would be actual effort.
Huh?
I said that right there would be actual effort.
I put in effort all the time. I just, like, maybe I'm not diagnosed with autism or something, but my thinking pattern, like, I have to completely understand the situation before I can do anything about it. If I can't completely understand something, like, it's worthless for me to try it because I can't understand it.
That's where immersion is and listening. A lot of people, when they're autistic and they have to be heard, sometimes autistic people who can speak, they'll make a video or they'll make an audio recording. And that's because people will talk over us, not understanding that there's more to it than what people's assumptions are. They get halfway through it and they've got an idea in their head and they get stuck on it, like the housing thing. One of the things with that is that I've been applying for housing, but it's having somebody there with me who understands my disabilities. Like somebody who understands that I can't just go up the mountains and move my stuff. I can't just move up and down those stairs. I have to pay people for that, but I don't get enough to do that.
Like I stayed up till 4 in the morning trying to figure out how this, housing thing works. Like in a home where they provide you. You can't fucking navigate through that.
Exactly.
I can't. I can't fucking. What the fuck?
Well,
there's no, click this button, download the PDF so I can fucking print it, or, no. It just tells you a bunch of bullshit that ain't the truth.
Yeah, and then you call the places that it tells you to call.
And they don't know.
And they don't know, exactly. And it has the links. These are the people you contact. Click the link. You click on the link and it sends you to 2 phone numbers that you can call if you don't have the ability to do it on the computer. Since I can't do it on the computer most of the time because I'm in here, I have to call the phone numbers. When I call the phone numbers, they tell me it's not their job and send me to someone else. Then, since I got to turn in the police, and when I call these emergency numbers, they say, if it's an emergency, call 911. What the fuck is a police officer going to do other than what they've been doing?
What phone service do you use?
This one is Straight Talk, and the other one, where the fuck is the other one? This is GCL. It's the one from TCCHC, so I don't even know what service it uses. It's paid for 3 months, I guess, is what they told me. But I also have the box for it. 125 fucking bucks for this. For 125 bucks, I could have bought this phone and a month's full of service. That phone was $70 when I first got it. It's $40 now.
So, one thing that I did find though was for free phone thing, and it's a year. You redo it every year.
Yep, and that's what I was trying to do when they gave me that phone instead. Yeah. The thing is, the closest place for me to go do that is almost an hour away, and it's a Cricket store, and they'll do it. But the problem is I have to travel there, and with my gas issues, that's not a happening thing.
So after I talk to Stu, and Stu tells me what I need to do and how I need to do it and where I need to go to do it, then I'm going to take a day off and we're going to go figure out how to get you a caseworker, then give you an evaluation, and move forward into
Well, I've had multiple evaluations. The problem is that every time that I'm forced to move, they want me to start over with ground zero.
Yeah. Well,
I can't do that.
Yeah, but if I'm willing to help you.
Right. With you helping
I'm willing
me.
To be your friend or family member.
With that, it ought to go by pretty quickly. But one of the things to understand is that Adult Protective Services has to be involved. They're the most important ones to be involved, and they're the ones that all of these mandated reporters should have called first, and they didn't. The Northwest Senior and Disabilities is not Adult Protective Services.
But where I'm coming from is if we get you into a place, if it was locally, and you're in a house where you have a room, you have your own space, then you can do your job and you can start sorting through the stuff.
Yep, and that's what I had a place in Chaplin and in Sydney, and in both those places I was working on it.
I listen very well, and I see that what you need is housing, but it's not the housing that they're saying that you need.
What I need is emergency housing, but also my housing got taken away. I had housing. The predators in Chaplin, Nebraska used their power to remove that housing from me, to force me to do desperate things because I didn't have friends. So yes, housing is important, but the most important thing right now is getting me out of an abusive situation, which is what I have here in Tillamook. But moving on to somewhere else isn't going to help because the issues here in Tillamook still affect my future and my abilities from here on in. All of the time and money that I wasted here. I mean, all of these services are supposed to help. They don't because no one goes in with me. That's the key thing. If I go to TFCC by myself, they're not going to listen. I go to TCCHC by myself, they're not going to listen. I go to the cops by myself, they're not going to listen.
But I think that you're really smart. Not that I think that, I know that, I see it. And I think, I believe, and I think that if you were in a place that provided you with services and the person that had compassion and would listen to you, okay, that person could stand up for you. And you could come out of this emotional distress that you're in.
Constant fear.
Yeah.
I don't get to make or maintain relationships. I don't have the money to go do fun things with my friends.
I don't ever do fun things. I just work.
That's what I did.
I gotta go to work now.
Well, I'm going to continue bitching about you on my Facebook and or on YouTube and talk about the progress made. Now that I got my car started, I'm going to try to go put some gas and probably get up the mountain. The whole day is kind of a waste. I think I should go to the library and charge up my electronics before I go up there. One of the things about going up the mountains is the no service thing. Like I'm up there for my safety, so I'm not getting messed with by the meth addicts here, mostly. Oh, thank you. I love your cigarettes. The biggest thing that I worried about, this is one of the things I was bitching about on my channel. You know, I don't want to, in 6 months, be fucking freaking out and telling Chris, hey man, I need help turning this in. And have him go, hey man, I bought you some pizza, gave you some pizza. I washed your laundry a couple times. Like, you should be homeless by now, which is how most people treat me.
I've been there. Been there. And the only way that I made it out was I said somebody else.
Somebody who understood, though. Somebody who knew you.
But no.
No? It was a stranger?
There's amazing people in this world. You just gotta find them.
There are. Natalie Bollinger was the most wonderful person I ever met. But she also wanted to make her family happy, even though they were her predators.
It's hard.
It is.
Alright, I'll see you later, buddy.
Yes, sir. I don't know if it did any of that. That was Chris. He said he's actually gonna try. Now he's right about the housing, and I told him I'm willing to do the housing thing. I've been jumping through all this. The problem is that I need to be able to turn in my predators. Being stuck in a house with other people, it depends on the situation and how those other people are. But if they're going to play victim if I have a panic attack, well, then I'll treat them like the assholes that they are. If somebody's having a panic attack, I am probably the most patient person you're going to find with that. But I'm also a major contributor to many people's panic attacks. They knew they did wrong, and they hoped I'd keep my mouth shut. For a couple of those people, it drove them so fucking crazy. Man, I try not to feel bad for them, right? Having friends of yours tell you that keeping secrets is driving them crazy. Man. And then people wonder why I made that video before Natalie died about how I'm not keeping anyone's secrets anymore. Your secret's not worth human lives. Your embarrassment isn't worth a human life to me. I don't get embarrassed. Jaden said something I hold very near and dear to my heart, despite our differences and disagreements. He said, I said what I said. You're damn right you did. His stories are important. Chris's stories are important. Scott Scudder's stories are important. Jared Scudder's stories are important. Mr. Crabtree's stories are important. Amanda with the kayak, her stories are important. So is Dallas Palmer's. So is Claire Jordan's. All of their words are important, but only if they use them. And if they're only using them at me, they're not using them. The housing is important, but we need emergency housing. It's obvious to anybody who looks that I'm taking this abuse because I'm at risk. Because I'm in an unsafe situation. Because I have no friends or family member who care enough to actually take a look and speak up. It's always move on to somewhere else with someone else. You know, I went to work. I got off work and I passed out blankets. And then I went back to fucking work. And I got off work and I passed out blankets. And I went back to work and I got off work and I passed out blankets. On my days off, I was in Starbucks. After work, I was in Starbucks. Before work, I was in Starbucks. That was my safe place. Starbucks on the Pearl Street Mall in Boulder, Colorado is the main reason I was able to function there. The people at that Starbucks kept me safe and I kept them safe, and it was a good deal. But when there was an issue with a blonde-haired, blue-eyed girl who worked there, she hadn't worked there for very long. I'd been there for 7 years. She didn't keep her word, and the other people there didn't either. When I had major issues, the people at the Starbucks pushed me to the point that I wanted to commit suicide. I'd literally kept them safe for years. And then they couldn't take the time to listen. Wanted to tell me, oh, well, this person would help you and that person would help you. And they refer to other people that worked at Starbucks. And I go talk to them and they tell me, oh, well, this person to help you, that person to help you. It's always passing the buck. Nobody else can because they've got families. Meanwhile, you're not able to because you don't have a family. I couldn't turn in my predators before Natalie died because I didn't have help turning them in. Everybody wanted to make it about you and treat me like I was selfish for trying to get help from my friends. Like I was a selfish person because I wanted people to stop hurting me. Like I was a selfish person because I wanted to see my loved ones too. Familiarity is important. Put me in a big city like Eugene, that's not a smart thing to do. If I don't have to leave the house, it might be better. But I'm scared of people for a reason. I am easy to victimize, and I know it. It's not because I'm a retard, it's because I'm in a desperate situation and have been for my entire life. My entire life I hear about the American dream and American freedom and American freedom of speech, and what do I get? Censored. Fuck. Now hopefully Chris will follow through. Hopefully he's able to. Getting hung up on just the housing thing means that he doesn't get much more, though. When he says he wants to know everything about it, well, yeah, most people do. That's why I'm trying to show you. That's why I'm trying to show you that it'll take literally years for you to do that. That's what's so inhumane about it. It's not that I don't have the evidence. There's just too fucking much of it. Because people just let it slide. Wanted to pretend that I could do it all by myself because I have a penis, because I'm white, because I'm intelligent. None of that matters. When somebody calls you mentally ill, your intelligence doesn't exist. As far as the courts and the cops are concerned, you're a fucking retard. Mentally ill means retarded in America. That's what it means. That's how it is classified by the law. It's not just retard, though. It's violent retard. Mentally ill means violent retard. By law. That isn't the terminology that they use, but it's close enough. Just because they didn't use the derogatory terms doesn't mean that they're not doing something derogatory. If you make it illegal for black people to do something, oh, it's not racist, I didn't use the N-word. Is that really how you want to play it off? You judge all of the homeless as if we're all just one giant group of child molesting, raping murderers who are on fucking smack. Shooting up 3 times a day and getting drunk 24 hours a day and fucking your kids. Meanwhile, statistically, 80% of the time when your child is molested or raped, it's by one or the other parent. 80% of the time. Statistically, your mother is 5 times more likely to beat you than your dad is. Statistically, your mom is more likely to beat on your dad than your dad is to beat on your mom. Statistically, your dad is more likely to go to prison over your mom playing victim than she is to go to prison for actually victimizing him. There's also organized speech. If I give you the time to speak, are you going to give me the time to speak? Or are you going to interrupt me until you can't garner any information that's useful out of me because you're too confused, because you're too busy interrupting? If you watch the Star Wars trilogy, well, you'll catch something new every time you watch it, but you'll know what it's about. When you want to talk through the whole movie and ask somebody that you know watched it once all sorts of questions about the movie, at the end of it, you're still going to be confused because you didn't watch the movie. Sure, you were in the theaters, you were with somebody else, the movie was playing, the sound was going, but you didn't shut up. So not only did you not watch the movie, you prevented the other person from watching the movie. Maybe it's not enjoyable to you. Maybe it's boring to you. The problem is that to my predators, this stuff isn't boring. It's entertaining. It's fun for them. God bless America, right? Let's hope I can start up my car and drive to storage and get my antifreeze. Now with the housing thing, if I get some housing in Eugene, that's a great idea, sure. But I'm still gonna need help getting there. What the fuck did I just run over? Probably my cords. Uh, yep, it was my power cords. The problem is, this is all a massive hemorrhage on my cash flow. In order for me to get my money back, I need to try to get that paperwork done, well, ASAP. I have to make those calls ASAP, but I have to make them with someone. And mandated reporters in a state, $300 million apportioned to help us out and do out homelessness. And what are these therapists and police officers doing with that money? The cops send us to therapy. The therapists send us to the cops. The cops send us to therapy. The therapy send us to the cops. The cops send us around to all these different agencies, and all these different agencies send us back to the different agencies for the cops. And then we're told to go to these different phone numbers when we're literally victimized to the point that we want our lives to end. And instead of trying to end our lives, we're trying to get help stopping the abuse. But no, you just want to run us around in circles. There's stuff that Chris absolutely does not understand. Now, there is some stuff that he's capable of understanding, and there's some stuff that he does understand. But the part about having to do it alone, without a friend or family, while being targeted by this many people, he has to understand, first of all, what the situation is, which means he needs to know that I'm telling the truth. I mean, it doesn't take much at all to show him the truth about the abuse that I've been enduring. It doesn't take much at all to do that, but he's got to be willing to look. He said he can take a day off to try to help me, and I hope he does, but I hope we're able to get him the understanding that he needs so that we don't waste that whole day. When crimes are committed against me, I need to be able to turn them in. Because I can't take care of myself, and I can't defend myself or protect myself. I get treated like I must have wanted it, needed it, chosen, or deserved it. You victimize anybody who doesn't think like you do, and that's just sick. Now, a lot of these people, their suggestions are very harmful and scary. Alright, is this person going to try pulling in front of me, or are they going to try running into the ass end of the person in front of them? I hate it when people are fucking scary drivers like that. Alright, thank goodness they got into the lane ahead of me. Sounds weird, yeah, I know. Wants to play victim and throw on the tears, we're expected to drop everything for her. We don't stop to listen to her victim. We don't stop to find out why she's playing victim. Probably because she did something illegal as fuck. And she doesn't want to get in trouble, just like any other predator in America. Blame your victim. Many women, most women, will intentionally do something that they know is harmful to you just because you told them it's harmful. It gives them another little tip and trick to play with your head. Now, with Chris, I'm hoping that he'll be able to. But the thing is, with a lot of folks, their excuses why they weren't able to, they are important. The fact that people wanted to keep those things a secret just lets me know that they're liars. The kid wasn't really sick. If you're going to claim that you're going to help somebody who's being abused, they need to be able to turn in their abuser right away. Otherwise, that abuser gets away. And when everybody just talks over the victim, you are helping that predator to get away. That is what you are doing. You are letting the victim know that they don't matter. You don't care if people are hurting them. And you're letting their predators know that, well, nobody cares about this person, so proceed. Go right on ahead and keep on hurting them. It's gross. I say nice things in real life. I'm also a dickhead in real life. I say nice things on the internet. I'm also a dickhead on the internet. I'm a dickhead because it's necessary. That's what you listen to. That's what you understand. Most of the women I know are in abusive relationships right now because they're attracted to assholes. They'll do a lot of stupid shit for those assholes, like Shea Burton did for Theo. Then afterwards, it's not her. Theo had control over her. He was making her. No, he didn't. She got off on it. The only reason she didn't ride that reputation straight to hell is because people felt sorry for her. Because she was a pretty, blonde-haired, blue-eyed, short white girl.
Can I get a pair of
Go ahead.
Sure.
Yeah.
Oh, thank you.
You look like you work for a living.
I'm done working for the day, but yes. Got our crap delivered, got the boat worked on. That's it. Thank you. We're good to go.
That would have been a great job for me 10 years ago.
It wears and tears on you, but man, it's a great real life. I love it.
I love tree cutting until I hurt my back, so I get that.
My grandfather and my cousin, fathers, man, they love it. I love being outdoors. I love being on the ocean.
I've only been on the ocean twice, but I'll do it again. You have a good day
It's a
too.
good time. It's free out there. Not a lot of traffic, you know.
Now, there's a lot of people who told me that they were sexually harassed by Loftman, women especially, and there's a few people who have had some not so nice things to say about Loftman that are men as well. Loftman's crooked as fuck. I hope Chris will keep his word. But I don't hold no stock in anybody's word anymore. It's been a long while since I believed anybody. The last person I actually believed was Natalie Bollinger. It's because everybody else was pieces of shit who fucking bullshit me and fucking talked over me and lied at me. How am I supposed to feel about that? About being ripped off because I can't take care of myself, but because I'm intelligent, magically all my disabilities don't exist, huh? Because I'm a male, nobody could ever possibly harm me or have any reason to harm me. So if somebody harmed me, I just must be making it up, right? Fucking horse shit. Plug that in a little bit, make sure it gets a charge. It's a lot easier to understand somebody if you listen to their situation instead of trying to find solutions. That's not what I'm coming to you for. I'm not coming to you for solutions. I already know the solution. First, I need a friend or family member who fucking gives a shit enough to listen to what's going on. If they can't even do that, they're not a friend or family member, and they can't help. Because all they're going to do is tell me what to think and what to feel, and that's just horse shit. That doesn't help the victim. That doesn't put their predators away. If you care about somebody and they tell you they're being victimized, that's when you find out if you really care about them. No matter what your opinion, the fact is that I was prevented from speaking out. I was prevented from showing up in court illegally. But it's on the victim to prove it, isn't it? And all they have to do is call me mentally ill, and I'm not allowed to prove anything. I'm not allowed to even show up at my own fucking court dates. Does anybody want to hear that? No, they want to shove me into housing. See, Chris is getting way too far ahead of himself, and he's getting too far ahead of the situation. In order for him to know what's going on, I don't need him to sit down and look up every fucking goddamn law. I don't need him to look up all these different things that are all complicated. Now, since he did, he can vouch for the complication of it and how fucking impossible they make it when you are victimized as an at-risk and disabled adult. He is a witness to those impossibilities, just like many others are. But do they speak up about it? No, that's why I have so many people on my channel that are pissed off. They never spoke up. So I recorded them and I posted it up. Don't tell me one thing and tell them another, because we ain't gonna have a good time. And a lot of the things that people say to try to make you feel better, when they don't make you feel better and the person keeps on doing it, it's a very disrespectful and scary thing. For me to have to hear about all these people who would get violent in these situations, I'm like, hey, I was fucking locked up because the people that you said that you would get violent with wanted to pretend that I might get violent with them after they were already violent against me. They wanted to pretend that I threatened to kill them after they had repeatedly threatened to kill me. They wanted to pretend I might assault them after I was repeatedly assaulted. But yeah, push me onto housing. I'll jump through the hoops for housing, but he's not listening to the fact that I have been through housing already. There are reasons why it is not going to go through. That doesn't mean I'm not willing to try, but we need to be trying is getting Adult Protective Services to fucking listen. Now we're spending all this money for housing that is not going to be here for another 1.5 to 2 years. There is no housing here in Oregon. There is a massive housing crisis, just as there is everywhere in the United States. And here's why. Men are tired of getting raped. We're tired of getting raped out of everything that we busted our ass for because women are entitled in this country. In order to access that vagina, you have to deal with all of her bullshit. And you know what? I don't think any vagina is worth any of that bullshit. I don't believe any penis is worth all that bullshit. When innocent people are being harmed over your sex drive, it says more about you as a person than it does about them. I'll be right back. I gotta pee. Where a lot of people end up getting confused is that they're busy asking questions, assuming that there's only one issue and only one incident. No, there are literally thousands of crimes that have been committed against me in the last 6 years. Because it is that easy to take advantage of an at-risk and disabled adult and have no fucking goddamn consequences.